Hi there, and welcome to the PBSA instructional video on how to prepare a softball and baseball diamond. Let's begin with raking. You know, a ball diamond can get really roughed up during a game, so you'll want to smooth it out at the end. And the thing is, you don't want to wait very long because this infield mix gets really hard to rake if it gets wet. So if the rain comes or the sprinklers are turned on, it gets really difficult. So right after a game, you want to smooth everything out. Now, we have two tools that we use. One, a rake, and the other is called a drag mat, which we pull behind the tractor. But the drag mat does not work very well if the infield mix is wet. So after a rain, you might want to use the rake. Let's face it, lips can be your very best friend. After all, if you have tried drinking a milkshake without lips, can't be done. But on a baseball diamond, lips are your enemy. Lips are those annoying bumps that occur where the infield mix meets the grass. A hard ground ball can come along, hit that bump, and fly up into your face, giving you a black eye, a bloody nose, or, yes, a fat lip. So this is extremely important. You want to rake away from the edges toward the center of the base path. If you see a buildup at the edge, push it towards the center. You want to make everything as even as possible. This is true at the pitcher's mound too, as well as around the home plate area. Make everything as smooth as possible. So in the course of a game, holes can develop wherever people step a lot. For instance, on the pitcher's mound or right in front of second base or home plate where people are sliding. Every time you slide, you push that infield mix aside and it creates a trench. So you want to make sure that's nice and flat. So you just kick it in and then tamp it down with your foot before raking over it to make it nice and smooth. So really, raking is super easy. Just remember the ABCs of raking. A, away from the edge. B, baseline. You want to rake towards the baseline. And C, nice and smooth. Huh? Oh yeah, I was never any good at spelling.
So she's still waiting for safe and
Now, as fun and fulfilling as raking can be, it's awfully slow, and there's a faster way to get over the big areas, and that's by using what we call a drag mat. Now, it is imperative that the drag mat not touch the grass. You don't want to be going down the baselines with it. You don't want to be going up on the lips, right? The drag mat is just for the interior sections here. So I repeat, do not let the drag mat touch the grass. Do the exterior parts with the rake, and then use the drag mat across the interior. Now the drag mat is found at the back of the tractor and it's pretty easy to unload. You just lift it up, pull it over, put it down, and roll it out. But notice that the tractor is already on the infield dirt. You do not want to unroll this onto the grass. Boom, easy as pie. By the way, I made pie once, it wasn't easy at all. Crust was horrific. This is easy as peanut butter sandwiches. Now to roll it back up, you just do the opposite. And you'll notice that it's a lot easier if two people do this job together. Of course, if you want to be a manly man and do it by yourself, that'll make hair grow on your chest. I know all about that. One last thing. When you pick up the drag mat, there's some residual bumps and you want to just rake those out. So here's the deal. First thing you do is put your foot on the brake, then you turn the ignition. Forward, backward. When you're done, turn the ignition off. Now, this is key. It's important. You must turn the ignition right off or else it'll drain the battery. If you only put it back halfway, you could drain the battery. And if you're ever out of gas, well, feel free to go get some, and there are two ways that you can save money. You can fly to Saudi Arabia, where gas is only 6 cents per liter, or you can go to the Peninsula Co-op and quote this number, 76564. Thankfully, it's written right here. And that way, PBSA will get a refund, which will keep your fees down. That's smart retirement planning. So putting the bases out is dead simple. All you need to do is find the stem that the base sits on. Dig out the area around there, and then simply slide the base right on there. Voila, Bob's your uncle. Now, let's talk about the pitcher's mount. This diamond is good for 2 different age groups, for instance, say, mosquito and tadpole. So all you need to do is locate the rubber that you don't need and cover it up. Well, now that the field is raked nice and flat, you just need to line it for the game. Now listen, this is not difficult. If you can line your face, ladies, using eyeliner, you can certainly line a field. How does this thing work? Ow! So in order to line the field, you need 3 pieces of equipment, all of which are found in the equipment shed. You need a rope, you need the lime dispenser, and you need a doohickey. Yes, that's the exact scientific terminology. The doohickey shows where the batter's box should be. Here's how you use it. You line up this nub with the front corner of home plate. The distance from home plate to the doohickey should be about a hand's width. Then, with the doohickey on the ground, you walk on top of it so that you make an indentation into the infield mix below. This is where you can celebrate your girth and be glad at how overweight you are, because that leaves a lovely impression in the dirt over which you can dispense the lime. So here's how you lime the line. You line up the front wheel exactly with the indentation that you've made with the doohickey, and you simply push forward and drive over it. Now, to release the lime from the lime dispenser, you just turn this thing to the side, and voila, Fred's your uncle. And once you have both sides of home plate done, you're ready with a beautiful batter's box, all set for your little Babe Ruth to step up here and spectacularly strike out, thereby embarrassing your family name. But first, we've got to line the base path. So for this job, you'll need 2 people. One to hold the rope at this end, at home plate, and one person down the base path, past the base, right out in the outfield. The rope is placed right at the rear point of home plate. So the line goes straight out here, all the way past the base. Once the line's in place, all you do is go straight over top with your lime dispenser and go straight that way. One thing to remember is that you don't put lime inside the batter's box. You start on this side, and then just as before, walk forward over the line, letting the lime fall down. Now when you get to the base, this is important. The outside of this baseline that you're drawing here with your lime should line up with the outside of the base. So if you consider the line coming like this, it lines up with the outside here. And so your lime goes on this side of this edge. That's the line you're trying to get. And you go all the way until you hit the white line that's already painted on the grass in the outfield. And then you just do the exact same thing down the third base line.
One ball, 2 strikes.
So that's it. You come right out the third base line like you did at first, meet up with the painted white line that's on the grass here, and you're all set to go. Alphonse is your uncle. So there you have it. Now you know how to rake and line a ball diamond. What did we learn today? Well, lips are great for Mick Jagger, but not for the ball diamond. 2, remember your ABCs. And 3, do not let the drag mat touch the grass at any time. But if you take only one thing away from this instructional video, let it be this: I accept tips. Say hi to your uncles Bob, Fred, and Alphonse for me, and I'll see you at the ballpark.